We were going out at sea, and they were no word how much we are doing. 54. No, it's not possible. Possible. The GPS? No, that is not true. No vibration. Why no vibration? Ma how can you make turn so narrow? Can you go slow? Yes. Ah, but there is no black smoke from the engine. No.
Welcome back for another episode of JetCast by Marine Jet Power, the video podcast where we're mixing up the flow of marine industry news with firsthand input from industry experts. Today's episode, we're taking an in-depth look at high-speed vessel design and luxury yachts. I'm your host, Kelsey Nemeth, Marketing Manager for Marine Jet Power, and I'm joined by Marco-Arnaboldi of Studio Arnaboldi. Welcome, Marco. So do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself and your background and how you came to be in the yacht design business?
Of course. We started with my father's company, a design company. It was around the middle of the 70s. And what he liked to do, he was always to researching new way to let boat go fast. He was coming from military instructions, and he did a lot of racing boat. He had, I think, 2 worldwide championship, 3 European in class 1 with the Picchiotti, the Dry Martini. And big change in his life. He was director of a very famous shipyard here in Viareggio, and the shipyard was committed to produce a fast boat, a sort of tender. It was 20 meter for the Sultan of Oman. And the boat has to be with waterjets because this guy, the customer, had this his big yacht outside the coast, and they was using this very fast boat to go from the shore to the yacht, from the yacht to the shore. And because he was an important guy, there was a lot of risk of to rape him. And then the decision fall on jet propulsion because these pirates or the enemy was throwing fishing nets, floating fishing nets in the water just to stop the boat and catch. And it was in 1979 they did this 20-meter boat in aluminium with mixed flow jet produced in Italy at that time. It was years ago. The boat performed very well, was at that time with the 2 small MQs going over 49 knots in total safety. And then my father fallen in love with this propulsion system and spent his life dreaming to start a shipyard building a jet boat. And it happened when I was 18, it was in 1992 when we started the AV Yachts. Now is next group or what? And AB, it was the name of my father and my mother, Arnaboldi Ballarini. And we started immediately with a 55 feet. That time the name was Monte Carlo because we built together to Gianfranco Rossi, the winner offshore driver, and we were going to complete the range of his boat. It was Monte Carlo 30, 33, 40 and something, all very famous and very fast. And then he decided to go with us with this 55 feet. And the boat in 1992 with the 2 small engine, we were installing 820 MIN, was going 46 knots. Then a couple of years after, we went with a bigger engine for another Italian customer. We went over 54 knots with jet, and then we grew up as a shipyard up to what AB or Next is now, thanks to also some investors that they came in the time. But the funny things is that we were not building boat, but we were testing water jets. Because at that time there were the two most famous jet manufacturers. One from north of Europe, that one from the islands close to Australia. I can't say the names. And they were full of problems. And they were selling, no, the truth is that they were selling what they were not capable to maintain. So speed, cavitation, corrosions, maneuverability, ventilation, cavitation, control system. And we were very small because it was a family owned, managed company. And just to be able to sell our boat, we did a lot of efforts with these companies or against these companies to force them to improve all these big problems. Because at that time, jet was seen like 30 knots, 35 knots, 40 knots, no more. And we were, because we had the experience in 1979 by this Italian manufacturer that today doesn't exist anymore, that he proved that jet could go over 50 knots. And it was ridiculous. These two other big companies, they had problem to go 50 knots, and with so amount of problem you cannot imagine. At the end, we became their R&D department for both the companies. So on our boat, we tested all the new pumps, all the new takes, all the new control systems, all the new joystick, for example. Now we talk everybody about the joystick. Joystick was developed by me because at that time nobody was able to drive water jets. The target of our customer was I'm not joking. We laugh, but it was serious. I was the hostage of my customer because I was the only one in Italy maybe capable to drive jet with the cables. There was no electronic, there was no clutch. So as the engine started, the jet was moving. There was no the neutral of the steering. It was difficult. So I was young, I'd like to make some holiday sometime. And so I started to develop the logic of this joystick. And then I passed to the two big companies. And they understood the importance of this joystick. They developed. And then they tested both the first system on our boat, and then they saved my, young guy holidays, summer holidays. So customer finally they managed to drive a jet boat. And so what was very difficult for us, we were the only one jet boat producer in Italy. We did, people was coming to us, can you install surface drives? Can you install proper? No, we do only jet. And for us was a big problem to have, is a worldwide problem. We were the only one in the world, not in Italy, in the world. For us was a problem to convince customer that jet boat was easy to use. And if today someone has the idea that the jet is difficult to handle, is because maybe he tested 30 years ago a boat that had the today control system. Then now I see that also with the training, there are so many jet boats in the world. I built more than 80 jet boats. They are everywhere in the world, so at least they have 80 captains. Maybe they sold 2-3 times, so there are 200 people that can start drive, a jet. And for us was very, very difficult without having a good control system to sell boat, because all the competitors, they were joking of us because they say, you see, the boat cannot maneuver. And then, for us was very hard. The thing is that I learned a lot to drive a jet boat So I proved that the jet can maneuver better than any other kind of propulsion system. Even if there is no joystick, even without the throttle, at the end, all the competitors, shipyard, customer, they had to admit that with the proper control system, the jet is fantastic. And it is what we are saying today around where captain, they are proud, they are happy, and they don't see the time to take delivery of the yacht because they know the jet is really fantastic, is really something that can make the difference everywhere. In the calm water, in rough sea, with the windy situation while docking, safety-wise, they can go on the beach. You live in Florida. If you go on the social, you see many jet boats going with the bow on the beach. That is what jet can do, and I see now with lots of very big brand that they trust me to install jet. They open a market that is incredible. The advantages of the jet, they are all for the final user and the end user. Can be. Now things are becoming simple. I see once a customer take delivery of the boat, we have, for example, delivered a big patrol vessel of Italian Guardia di Finanza, 4 MQ, 2,600 horsepower. And today, in 1 year and a half, they did 2,000 running hours. They did not have any single problem. They did a simple maintenance, yearly maintenance, and they are in the middle of Mediterranean Sea to participate to the immigration operation with the Frontex project. And all the European forces, Coast Guards, Border Police, took that vessel as a reference. It's the only one with jet, is the only one with the 4 water jets. They can run with the 1 jet, 2 jet, 3 jet, 4 jets. They have a fuel economy that is astonishing. For jet with a 4 small engine means very low consumption, very low emissions, because now we talk about CO2. And we know that this kind of engine are really efficient also in that term.
Just to take it back a little bit, can you explain to us more specifically your first experience with MJP, why you decided to build boats exclusively with MJP Waterjets?
We decided to change because we knew that MJP was small, organized to have an extremely high quality, because they had not at that time being smaller, like could be my shipyard. They couldn't have problems because also in terms of service or technician, there were few, and they couldn't cover all the problem. As we heard that they were guaranteeing the Waterjet 5 years, they say they are for us. And then we tested on the first AB88 Kirion, who was a Spanish guy, the owner, and with the Caterpillar, we did that boat. We exceeded the speed, the performances. We did over 62 knots immediately at the first sea trial. The boat changed now 2 times the engine, and they never removed the jet from the transom once. So this means, and then we were so happy. We had to wait one summer to see what was happening. No technician on board. Customer used the boat 100% of the time available, and then that moved us to make a big choice, because it was big, because the other 2 brands, we were very, very famous brands of water jets. And then was also going, to start again to sell something that nobody has. Before we were selling the jet, but the jet then they were famous. Now we are selling the jet that are not famous, unknown. And so the people that were coming, this boat has the beep jet. No, this is as MJP Waterjet. MJP, what is MJP? So it's the best waterjet available on the market. And then it was 2005, we started to place big orders to MJP, and I have to admit that if today I am here talking with you, and if I bring you the name and my reputation together with my reputation in the world with MJP, is because I think is really the best choice a builder, a customer, anybody can do. A big added value that is to stay with in Italy. We stay with the feet on the ground. We are not a big name. We are not part of a big group. We make only water jets, and a water jet must be the best water jet of the world.
In your experience, you have a lot of experience designing boats for water jet propulsion. For some of the designers and people listening out there that maybe don't have any experience designing boats with water jets, what is your advice? What needs to be considered when designing a high-speed vessel with water jets?
Jet is very simple, but need to have some attention. Is a pump, so taking water and push the water out of the transom. So it's very important how the water go inside the jet. I used to say, if it is enough to allow to the boat to plan. So it's very important to have knowledge about the hull resistance, the displacement, because other problem that made the jet development very slow was that at least also here in Italy, many projects failed because they were done like thinking to make a propeller boat. So if something goes wrong, you replace the propeller, and in a way or in the other, the boat achieve, if not the top speed, but can go. With the jet, if you do mistake, that you choose the wrong size, the boat stay in the doesn't plan. And this is, in my opinion, what people need to be very careful. There are a lot of naval architects good now that with experience we solved, because another good operation done by MJP is they never left the naval architect alone. They always try to support them, to make suggestions, to bring their experience on each new project. And frankly speaking, was something never seen before. So airlines and weight prediction are the key point for a good jet application. Say there are other thousands of secrets, but I can't tell them that about. At the end of the day, I think.
So if you want to design a boat with water jets, you have to call Marco.
That good airlines to have the streamlines are more directed in the jet intake and accuracy in the weight calculation. Then we can decide also to have a jet boat slow that I don't like, and we can decide to have a jet boat very fast that is something I like a lot. But when I was at the boat show, when I was still in AB, I was also the driver of the boat when we were going out at sea. And there was, remember at the boat show was exciting because all the competitors were meeting outside, making races with the boat, with all the customers. And for me was nice because customers, they were coming to us because they knew that we were fast, the fastest, and they were curious to test the jet. And and maybe they had the appointment to go and make sea trial with other brand with surface drives. The surface drive it looks to be the fastest boat in the world with a roster tile and those things. And Marco, please can we have a sea trial with this boat? Because later we have to go to make sea trial with the other one with the surface drive. Let's say before go to make the sea trial with the other one. Then if you don't buy, come to me and we make a sea trial. And they were remaining all surprised about that. And I remember when after the sea trial with the surface boat, they were coming all excited. Oh, the boat is amazing. You see behind this big wake, you can make a course, and that is for sure with your boat you can't do those things. And we were going out at sea, and they were in this way. No word. How much we are doing? 54. No, it's not possible. It's possible. The GPS. No, that is not true. No vibration. Why no vibration? But how can you make turn so narrow? But can you go slow? Yes. But there is no black smoke from the engine. No. That was the big difference. The difference that any customer can experience every day if he owns a jet boat. Because what I used to say is that the jet disconnect you from the water. Doesn't give you the feeling to sail. Give you a sort of feeling more to fly, mostly without the vibrations, without the noise, without the mechanical noise. And you can plan in a while without this black smoke coming out. Engine are never overloaded. And is I can't say, it's something that take your art. For who like the sea, take your art. But it is not a job.
Yeah. You mentioned that you like fast boats. So what is the fastest boat you've ever designed, and what water jets did it have?
There are a couple we cannot say, but we went over 70 knots with the jet, 35 meters. Yes, they should be the fastest in the world, but the papers other things. Then the official one is the AB88, the Karen, we did the 62.7, I think.
Yes, that's very fast. So over the years, how have you seen vessel design change as speed requirements get faster and faster?
What I see today is that everybody wants to go faster and faster, but it's difficult to say because a lot of people will hate me. There is very few people capable to make a fast boat. Because before we were offering to our customer everything in with lightness. So the big success was small engine, to have everything, also marble inside. And the way we were building the boat was giving us the possibility to see speed that nobody was capable. Before we were doing everything with one layer. So if you, instead of one layer, install 3 layers, so now there is again the tendency to install huge engines or small boat.
Can you tell us a little bit about your new yacht project that you have going on?
This project is Centouno Navi. It's a sort of philosophic name that is something you want in philosophy, the number 101. And what we want is what she wanted, this girlfriend of me, was to recreate the speed of the past. The speed of the past, but projected in the future. The first boat will go at sea in June. It will be a 55 feet that should go 57 knots with MJP 350X and the MPN 1200, yes. And also here you see that we reduce was a sort of comparison with the design at the Monte Carlo 55 or AB 58, one of the last. They had 1300 horsepower, bigger jet, and they were going 52, 53 knots. So here there is what we was saying again, with less horsepower, with a smaller jet, with everything necessary on board, working on the efficiency all around the boat, what I can say, materials, and try to create and to let people understand that also fast is green, because now all the people is focused on the 14 knots, 15 knots with the pods, with the batteries approved. But it is a simple calculation that at 57 knots I produce 1/3 of the CO2 that is producing a boat that is going at 50 knots.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Without considering that to achieve that, we on this project we are using all recycled materials. All the bulkheads are from recycled materials that can be recycled again. We are using Waterjet, and the example I did it before. You can go on everywhere without killing nothing. It's safe. And hit 12 trees, not the tree.
Wow.
12 trees, yes, by using this material. I want to prove that speed is nice. The man is born to go fast. We race all the time, or to hunt or to escape from we are always to run. Today, going fast doesn't necessarily means destroy the world, but can be better.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of your non-yacht projects that you've worked on recently for government and military applications, and how your experience with high-speed yacht design has helped you influence high-speed military design as well?
But I think the most evident example can be the big Guardia di Finanza patrol vessel. Even if we follow all the military rules, also, the high-speed craft, fast patrol vessel that give you how to build the hull, the characteristic of the materials. By using a lot of our experience done in a very fast yacht, we've been able to save at least the 35% of the weight.
Wow.
And then it gave us the possibility to reduce a lot the installed power. Obviously, we used the most efficient water jet on the market that gave us the 2-3 knots more compared to the other. And that, in my opinion, is today, because it's a ship that are going to save people. So it can be used with no limitation of the sea, of the wind, of a perfect match between the yacht I always wanted to do and what can be done also in the military.
Well, one last question for you, and it's the way I like to end all of our episodes. Do you have a favorite memory or story of your best day out on a boat that you would like to share with us?
There are so many, it's difficult to say. For me, every best day is the first trial of each boat I design. And normally they are all best days because up to now, fortunately, we exceeded always the performances, and we saw our customer really, really, really happy. And that is something that make each day the best day. Because when you make a design of something that is not common, now when we talk about speed, speed today is not so common in the market. Traditional boats are more, you expect, you know more or less what you expect, because 10% on 20 knots is 2 knots. On 50 knots, is 5 knots or more. When you hit the target on a so challenging project, is something that make a lot of noise. A pleasure of noise.
Good. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Marco. We really enjoyed speaking with you today. And thank you so much for joining us on our JetCast episode. Thank you to everybody at home who tuned in to watch. For more information about high-speed vessel design, please visit us at marinejetpower.com. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody. Bye. It was a pleasure to talk with you.